Reese and the WNBA dump got hit with some brutal truth this weekend. And unsurprisingly, the truth. It was delivered by an expected source. Someone these Gen Z kids would describe as old school because he's got a willingness to be honest and not care about hurting your feelings. Angel Reese and the WNBA, they were given some humiliating truths by none other than Shaquille O'Neal. You know, there is a serious epidemic right now in this country. Well, Casey, is there a new strain of the Fauci spreading this winter? Please tell me it's not true. I'm so scared. To my knowledge, the great Aunt Fauci is still hibernating. But like most epidemics, this illness, it is something that pretend Dr. Jill Biden is unqualified to treat. This parasite mainly affects young people. Psychologists who are now seeing patients who were originally indoctrinated at Woke U, they are reporting that most of these patients, they are under the age of 30. They are struggling to find a cure for this allergen. Unfortunately, the only cure seems to be time and life experience. But even with time, some of these patients, they are still growing up to be grade A wanker spankers, destined to a life of loneliness and misery along with bitterness. Right now, there seems to be a growing segment of the population who is allergic to the truth. Some of the most severe cases of this truth allergen, they can be found in the WNBA dump. The next 12 months, it might be the most critical 12 months in the history of the WNBA. Entitled players throughout the league, they feel like they finally have some leverage. Their fearful leader, Kat Engelbert, who like her boss Adam Silver, is afraid to stand up to the unreasonable demands of her players. NBA players, they will tell Adam Silver, "We think 82 games is too much. The $50-60 million that you're paying us, that doesn't even come out to $1 million a game. We are demanding that our expectations be lowered." Instead of Adam Silver reminding NBA players that they are paid to play basketball, he lowers the expectation to 65 games, and most star players in the NBA, they have trouble meeting that. And it's the same thing in the WNBA. Entitled WNBA players demand chartered flights. Instead of Kat Engelbert reminding them that the league is broke, the diva of dump divas, she acquiesced to their unreasonable demands, costing the WNBA $25 million additional dollars in a season where they lost $40 million. Over the next 12 months, WNBA players, they are going to use the success of Caitlyn Clark in a desperate attempt to demand more money from their subsidizers in the NBA. Instead of looking for solutions, instead of looking for ways to make the dump profitable, WNBA players, they will once again be demanding money they haven't earned. But being the generous guy that he is, Shaquille O'Neal, he decided to offer a potential solution to WNBA players. He decided to give them a suggestion that might convince people to actually watch this league. Shaq also provided Angel Reese and her colleagues with some brutally honest truths about their league. And as expected, the truth caused the allergies to become out of control, with Angel Reese flat out rejecting Shaq's suggestions. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Let's go ahead and get to the sponsor for today's video, my good friends over at Fluffer Noggin. I'm not usually a big snacker, but I will eat on snack foods while I'm watching the NFL or the NBA. One of my favorite snacks to eat is beef jerky. Problem is, a lot of beef jerky, it tastes like you're biting into a flat tire. Good news is, I no longer have that problem because I started buying gourmet craft beef jerky from Fluffer Noggin. Now you're probably thinking, what the hell is a Fluffer Noggin? Fluffer Noggin is gourmet beef jerky that is made with 100% organic brisket right here in America. You don't have to worry about consuming foreign cows. All these cows, they are homegrown. Each recipe from Fluffer Noggin, it is handcrafted with the perfect amount of seasoning. First beef jerky I have ever tasted that literally melts in your mouth. Fluffer Noggin comes in a variety of flavors: mango habanero, Korean barbecue. They've even got a flavor called Carolina Reaper for those looking for serious heat. Or if you're like me, you'll go with my latest favorite flavor, sea salt and honey pepper. Fluffer Noggin's running a special right now where you can get 5 bags for $50 along with free shipping. So click the link in the description below. Use my promo code BTL at checkout and get your first 5 bags of Fluffer Noggin today. Last Thursday or Friday, Shaq was the guest on Angel Reese podcast, Unapologetically Entitled. I think Shaq is a mentor to Angel Reese, which is a good thing. They both went to LSU. He seems to have taken an interest in her development, both as a player and on a more personal level. But during the interview, Shaq, he was trying to teach Angel Reese how to make the WNBA more entertaining. So people might actually watch the shitty product. And Shaq is qualified to do so. During his NBA career, the dude was a brilliant marketer. He knew how to be entertaining while also being dominant on the court. There was a reason that every member of the media was waiting by Shaq's locker after games. They knew he would deliver the best sound bites. They knew he would give the most entertaining interview. Shaq, he was trying to explain to Angel Reese the economic side of basketball, the business side of basketball. He was telling her that WNBA players, they're making minimum wage because people don't support their dump of a league. He suggested that lowering the rim 8 to 10 feet and giving WNBA players the ability to successfully dunk the basketball instead of the typical airball dunks that we see in the dump, Shaq claimed that that might be enough to pique interest and convince people to support the product. Now, of course, Angel Reese, she was appalled by this suggestion. Women can do anything men can do. Except dunk a basketball. Angel Reese acted like the mere suggestion of lowering the rim to ground level was insulting. She tries to make it a gender issue. Angel Reese tries to make it an issue of men disrespecting women, when the reality is, she should be doing everything she can to convince men to watch her league because women damn sure ain't watching it. Towards the end of the clip, Shaq gave his honest assessment of the WNBA. Now, he was not as brutal as I am when describing this league, but he was honest enough to make the point that the WNBA sucks. Watch for yourself.
And women's beach volleyball, let's just say that the net is 10. For women, it's lower just a little bit. I'm not saying lower it to 9, 5, 9, 6, but just 9, 9.
Just so we can dunk?
Yes. No, see? Mm-mm. And
I hate when men say that.
I'm telling you now, if you just lower it like this, right there. I'm not saying go right there. I'm just, you know what you need to do with that?
I feel like it still wouldn't be good enough. It's never good enough for a man. People always disrespect women regardless. They're always going to not give us the same value as a man. So I just don't even think that.
And that's why you got to do what you've been doing. Go take the
Yeah.
I'm telling you now, if you lower that thing to 99999.
And what's going to happen? All right, tell me, the money going to go through the roof?
Yeah.
We don't even have the people don't even watch the game.
Because I don't want to use the B word. Unless it's certain people playing. It's like you're watching like a high school game.
First of all, Angel Reese, just because a man is criticizing your league, it does not mean he is disrespecting women. This is the entitlement I always talk about. Angel Reese and her colleagues in the WNBA, they have this false sense of entitlement that makes them believe that they are above being criticized. Anytime they are criticized, they want to play the victim. Men don't respect women. Oh, yeah? Well, where in the hell is the WNBA when men are invading women's sports? I speak against it. I use my platform to make people aware of it. Where in the hell are you? Towards the end of the clip, Shaq referenced the B word. Now, he didn't want to use the B word to describe the quality of play in the WNBA, which is fine. That's fine. Shaq didn't want to get that brutal with Angel Reese, but I will. The quality of play in your league, It's bad. It sucks. Now, I'm sure the wanker spankers on Reddit will call me a misogynist. They'll use their favorite woke boner words to prevent themselves from accepting the truth. But the truth is, the quality of play in the WNBA is substandard. Shaq, he said it's equivalent of high school level basketball, and he's speaking the truth. That is not misogyny. It's a fact. Throughout the season, I have complained about the quality of play in the NFL. Does that make me a man-hater? No, it means I have 20/20 vision. It means that I can see the drastic decline on the field. Instead of WNBA players being allergic to the truth, they should be willing to accept the criticism and do something about it. Problem is, I don't think there's a solution to this problem. I don't think there is a way to improve the quality of play in the WNBA. Well, KC, Caitlyn Clark is a phenomenal player, which means there could be future stars like her in the league. I mean, that is true. Caitlyn Clark is a phenom. She is a box office star. But there's not 144 Caitlyn Clarks. There has been one Caitlyn Clark in the last 30 years. I'm telling you right now, once Caitlyn Clark starts dominating the WNBA, once she wins multiple championships and forms a dynasty, you know what her critics are going to say? The reason Caitlyn Clark is so dominant is because of the level of competition. Thing is, they won't be wrong. The best female basketball players in the world, they are not playing in the dump. They're playing overseas where they're making real money. But I do happen to agree with Angel Reese on one thing. Dunking alone, that is not enough to boost interest. Now, that doesn't mean that the WNBA shouldn't lower the rim. I don't understand why that suggestion is so insulting, while WNBA players using a miniature ball is not insulting. But I agree with Angel Reese. Dunking alone is not going to be enough to sustain interest in the league. The only way to generate long-term interest is to offer a quality product. And they just don't have enough star players to make that happen. WNBA Finals just ended, when was that? Maybe a week or so ago? Who were the stars in the WNBA Finals? I know they drew big ratings, but who were the stars? Who created memorable moments? You know what most people remember about the WNBA Finals? They remember Game 5 and how absolutely atrocious it was. Obviously, Shaq received a lot of backlash for his appearance with Angel Reese. Lonely men on social media, they were complaining because Shaq referenced Angel Reese wearing short shorts. We used to call that a compliment. Now, that is misogyny. How dare a man compliment a woman on what she's wearing? I gotta stop looking at Reddit. It is really staining my perception on these Gen Z kids. And look, I know not all Gen Z kids are like this. The ones that aren't like this, they're probably busy in college getting an education or busy at work instead of wasting their time on Reddit. But there is a sizable number of people in Gen Z who just have no idea what the real world is like. And let Uncle Casey give you a hint. In the real world, no one gives a shit about your feelings. Anyway, give me your thoughts on this. Angel Reese, WNBA, they get embarrassed by Shaq. He compares the WNBA to high school basketball. Basically says that the quality of play in the WNBA is just bad. Instead of Angel Reese receiving this constructive criticism, she decides to play the victim. She claims it's another case of men not respecting women. Who do you agree with here? Was Shaq being a meanie? Or was he trying to help the WNBA by giving them brutal honesty? You tell me. Sound off in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share the video. Appreciate your support. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com. See you guys later.